Welcome to this conversation with the Morning Tea Marketing Missus. In case you haven't seen one of our conversations before, we offer some valuable tips that will help small businesses and sole traders to be able to improve their online presence and communicate more effectively to reach a much larger audience. So my name is Janine Vosper, and what I do is I assist women, particularly in leadership roles, to remove any limiting beliefs they might possess and the courage to stand out as an authority in their field of expertise. I have also with me Jan Roche. Jan's business is called BizConnect Web Design. So they are experts in helping small businesses connect with their customers online and building websites that are search engine optimized to specifically target the businesses that they want to attract as their preferred customers. Also, we have Narelle Gaddy. Narelle is an accredited accessibility auditor, and she is passionate about ensuring that all businesses are able to reach the widest possible market through enhancing their digital communication methods that meet Australian standards. That Narelle's blind herself, that means that she actually understands the barriers to that bad communication, so including websites and documents that can cause business. Our speaker for this conversation, or our expert in this conversation, is Kate Smith. Kate is a graphic designer, and she works with service and experience-based businesses, and she helps them showcase their brand to resonate with their ideal clients, and then we reach more people, increase their bookings. We're talking about relationships through February. I'm so looking forward to what Kate has to share. She's got some amazing experience and ability to get message across really well through branding. Hi, Kate.
Hey, guys. Thank you, Janine. How's everyone doing?
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Good to hear. I want to talk today about your brand as a relationship, which is kind of a new concept in branding, but it's sort of the way most bigger corporations are going now. So I guess when we first heard the word brand, it meant an image. You brand your cattle so that you know who owns which livestock. Your brand was your logo. It was how you looked. It was that mark that made people recognize you. Then we kind of went more into this brand as an idea or an experience. And so it became everything about your business. It was kind of your business personality. So that included how you looked, how you presented yourself, the service you gave, the products you had. It was more like your reputation. What we're trying to move more into now is branding as a relationship, which is really interesting with our topic this month. So big companies are trying to change the way that people interact with their brand. Instead of the brand being an entity and people saying yes or no, they want to create a relationship with their customers that the customer actually actively wants to be in. If you think about like great examples of this working is when brands customers help brands to promote themselves by using their products and posting and using their hashtags. So that company's actually getting content from its customers because its customers feel like part of the relationship. The company says, hey, like and tag us in this if you'd like to be featured. People post what they're doing with the product or how they've used the service. And suddenly there's all this content sharing going around for that company. So some other great examples of this, if you think of Uber. So Uber took the classic taxi driving business and they created it to be more of a peer-to-peer thing. So instead of I'm a passenger, you're a driver, I'm a person who's being driven somewhere by another person. It's more like a friendship model. And you get in the car and you might have a conversation, you might not, but you've all got that friend who said, oh, you should have met our Uber driver tonight. They were really cool. And a whole story comes out of it. They've also broken the model of boss and employee at Uber. So there's no more boss and employee. The employee just gets to use the framework of Uber to create the kind of job that they want. They get to work when they want. They can kind of make their own hours and their own lifestyle around their job. So that's a great example. Airbnb has also done this. So instead of being a host and a guest in a hotel, for example, you're more like a neighbor. You become kind of a local in the area. So these are all brands that have created relationships rather than experiences. So they've almost gone to another level with their branding. And I do visual branding, so that's just how it looks, and that includes your logo. But visual branding does still support this. If you think about when you walk into a party and you can kind of, you might not know many people, but you see some people dressed in a certain way and you go, they're my people. I'm going to get along with those guys. So this is what visual branding does. It gives you a way, or gives your customers a way to see your branding and go, they're for me. This is my people. This is my product. That is what I need. That is made for me. And this happens subliminally in a split second. They'll see your branding and they'll go, oh, there's something about that. I'm intrigued. And then they're going to read your messaging, and then you get traction with people. It builds that relationship. So I think that's where what I do plays into it. But I love this idea of brands as a relationship, because it gives us all a bit more of, I guess, a way to interact and be a part of what we're consuming rather than just consuming.
Kate, how that relationship thing, I'm thinking of the Uber and Airbnb experiences. And Stays actually came to me now because they're doing very much advertising with the whole family together and the whole house. And it's very impactful that they've got the whole house. And you can take, a dozen people type of thing, part of the family. Is it the storytelling, or that's part of it, or is it the information that a company might give or help people, support people without any expectation of someone paying them for information or the value? Is it all of that, or is it particularly the stories?
It is all of that, and storytelling is the best way, I would say, to market yourself as far as content goes. What you need to do if you want to go down this route, and what companies are looking at, is what kind of relationship do I want to have with my clients? Do you want to be that supportive friend? I'm not super familiar with Stays. Could you actually tell me a bit more about it?
Stays is another version of Airbnb, but you rent the whole house, not a room. So there's nobody else in the house except you and your family or your friends. Or
they're all entire houses. Okay. So if Stays, perhaps they would like to be the rich relative that has a house, and they say, come on over, you can stay at my place, enjoy the holiday. We never use it, this kind of
correct. And that's what it looks like in their promotions.
Gotcha. Well, exactly, they're nailing it.
Yeah. Trying to have a little bit of a dig at Airbnb, because Airbnbs or B&Bs can be, you've got to stay in someone else's house. They're going to be other people there that you don't know. They're strangers. Whereas with Stays, the whole place is yours and you don't have to worry about other people being there.
Just on that topic, after spending 60 nights in Airbnbs and B&Bs throughout Europe, yes, it's interesting. Some of the stays.
So which was the winner, Janine, Stays or Airbnb?
The castle in Ireland, where he was growing dope out the back, and it had all these famous singers and painters and everything come in, and it was overgrown, and I'm sure there was ghosts there. And we turned up, and the people that had been there before had left a note that they'd left a day early because of it was just scary. And the kitchen with the dungeon downstairs, it won hands down with 2 nights. It was fantastic.
Wow. Was an experience.
It certainly was. But that, very much the experience. And I suppose that's part of it, isn't it, with your brand too, is someone else can tell the story.
Yes.
Not just them telling the story.
And if you create that kind of relationship, you are going to tell the story. Who doesn't want to tell the story about their rich aunt who let them stay on the beach in, wherever they are?
What about when you watch a show like The Block, and like they really, they keep brand dropping the whole way through, like the Bradford Bats or the whatever. Is that a form of it as well?
Ooh,
they're sponsors. They have to.
They're sponsors. Okay, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, they're just sponsor announcements. Yeah, it is a way though, because those
Mm.
brands are trying to build a relationship because they know that people who are possible customers for them watch that show.
Okay.
So they're tying in with the brand
Mm-hmm.
of that show to showcase to people their brand and what they do. So it does kind of create that story and that relationship. Of course, if it wasn't a good match, in that the viewers of that show didn't like those kind of products or that kind of brand, it would have a negative effect, and those people would just not know why that was there, and they certainly aren't going to buy it. But it can have that reciprocal kind of quality when you do that.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking, along the block, they do use those brands, but they build the story of going into those shops, going into the plumbing places, having the Kinsman wardrobes come on site, and then the judges comment on how perfect they are and things like that. So the whole thing becomes that story around the quality of those brands, and it just puts them out in front of others. And if it's a hardware store, if it's just general hardware, we all know we go to that green and red place. But if you want quality, then you go to Mitre 10, is what they're saying. It really makes a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're positioning themselves as, in their relationship, as perhaps that knowledgeable advisor rather than just your mate who's got a tool shed.
Yeah, and look, that'll be a great lead in for when I do the next week, is because of that positioning yourself, as who you are by what you say, and how you can tell the story.
Awesome.
Well. Yeah,
can't wait to hear about it.
Yeah. Oh, me too. I just got to make it up. No.
And then we'll end it on the month again with the wonderful Jan, because she really ended it so beautifully last month with the planning. It was just perfect for the lead into this month.
Yeah. No, that's really given
no pressure, Jan.
Oh, no, not at all.
Beautifully given us food for thought, Kate, on exactly that, and how we're positioning our brands.
And what is your relationship with your customer?
Yeah. I mean, you only have to look at, and these people have a brand, even though they're nothing, and it's Kardashians. They really are.
Oh yeah, that's a brand.
Oh my God.
But they have this.
I've never watched their show. I really worked hard not to, but you still know about it.
Yeah, I never have either. Most people know, and it's one of the biggest brands in the world, and they've made an awful lot of money out of it, and it's all part of what they do with telling stories, and get paid millions of dollars to turn up to places because they then can tell a story about having been there. And that's a different league, but it's the same deal, really, isn't it?
It is. We all
as you
have
said,
a brand.
Narelle, you're like me. I never watched anything, but I certainly know about them.
Yeah.
I had to go to a birthday party where I had to dress up as a Kardashian, so I had to do some research.
My little padding. No, I don't go in there. Excellent, Kate. I really enjoyed that. I'm always enjoying every one of our sessions. As I say, each time I'm learning so much. Who else is learning? Everyone else is learning.
I'm loving it. Seriously. Yeah. I'm seriously just, I learn. I love learning. So this is great.
And we would love to hear what your comments and what you've learned from watching this episode and all of the other conversations that we've had, which are up on YouTube. If you found this one, you may not have found on YouTube, but go looking for Morning Tea Marketing Misses on YouTube. And please comment and let us know. Let us know what topics you'd love for us to discuss. There's an incredible brains trust here to be able to give you ideas on how you can improve your presence online, and when you do, you attract more people, you make more sales, which is what we want to all be doing all the time. So thank you all. Thank you, Kate, particularly for that information.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, and I look forward to our conversation next week.
That'll be great.
Oh, that'll be me. Oh, that's right. I do. It is funny. Look, for those that listening that don't know me, I am a speaker, and I tend to just go off the cuff for nearly everything. And I think these ladies are learning that about me. So I never know what I'm going to say until I've said it, and I'll go, oh, that sounded all right. Let's go with that. Have a great
Yeah.
week.
Have a great week, lady.
Yeah.
See you for
Bye.
the next cuppa.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.